we go.
You gotta love it here outside at Raymond James Stadium.
The rock concert yet?
I'm telling you,
God.
we gotta share
the graphics done? Is the rock concert over?
Well, the preseason's over with the
God.
Bucs win 26-20. Welcome to the Sports Web here, live also on the JP Peterson Show. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the great JP Peterson, once again of the JP Peterson Show from Raymond James Stadium as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business. Looked pretty good there in the first half. Auspicious start by the defense where the Ravens basically just go down and do whatever they want to. 4 plays, 80 yards. But after that, the second drive, Baker was really good. The offense was pretty good. We saw some things tonight. I mean, just give me your general thoughts. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television.
First of all, nice job getting us up on the air here. This is awesome.
Thank you very much.
Let's not bury the lead, my friend.
Yes.
Ryan Jensen is on injured reserve. I'm not going to say this comes as a shock. We'll get to the game here in just a second, but I think this is what people really want to know. I don't think it's a shock to anybody. This was kind of been leaking out, and we noticed, Ryan Jensen's not practicing anymore. What is going on here? And basically, they had a meeting the last couple of days, and the knee was just not responding, and they decided that Ryan's going to go on injured reserve. He didn't say it was career-ending.
Right.
But I think the biggest question everybody has is, did he regret having surgery or not having surgery last year? And I asked him that question directly, and he said no. Mm-hmm. He said no, the surgery would not have helped the type of injury that he has. And I know this gets into a lot of minutia, but there is a cartilage issue that is not allowing him lateral movement. Mm-hmm. Now, he said the ligaments, the ACL that was partially torn, the PCL, and all the other ligaments are fine. The imaging has been fine. Those actually healed before the playoff game last year, which allowed him to play in that game, which is unprecedented with an injury of his side. I know a lot of people want to dump on the stem cell decision, but that he did something no one's ever done and come back from a catastrophic injury in 6 months to play in that playoff game. He said he did not regret doing that. But he said the surgery, had he gone the surgical route last year, it wouldn't have helped. There was so much damage that they thought just healing the ligaments would make it work. And for some reason, this cartilage issue is just not allowing him to recover after he goes out there. There's a lot of pain, and it's not allowing him the lateral movement. So he's going to go on injured reserve. He's not going to play this year, and he says he's going to work his ass off, and he's going to try to get back next year. But at this point, I asked him directly, I said, if the cartilage thing is such an unknown, why just make this decision that you're not going to play this year? And he kind of hesitated and said, well, it's an unknown. We just don't know. And, of course, you don't want to take up a roster spot. You're not going to be able to come back. So, this is a huge loss for this team. We had hoped that he would be the anchor of this offensive line. He was the heart and soul of that 2020 Super Bowl offensive line and team. Having him, he said he's going to be around. He's going to mentor the kids and mentor Cody Mauch, not just because he's a long-haired ginger, because he likes the kid and he's got a lot of ability. So, they'll have his presence off the field, but they're not going to have his presence on the field, and that's a big blow.
And, you've got to think that the Bucs anticipated that there would be some type of injury there. But, again, I think a lot of Bucs fans are disappointed because of how important he was to that offensive line last year. So now it's up to Hansey here at the center, Robert Hansey. Can he get it done? And, you're not getting an inexperienced starter, JP, because he started last year. Now, was the offensive line as good with Hansey? Remains to be seen. It wasn't last year, but maybe this year it can come together.
Listen, I'm throwing out last year.
Right.
For a lot of reasons of what I saw tonight.
Correct.
Did you see how the pass game and the run game married each other?
Yes.
How one works off the other. I asked Baker Mayfield a couple of questions about that in the post game, and he kind of smiled about it and said, yeah, that's what this offense does. The runs look like the passes look like the runs. There was none of that last year. This offensive line was hung out to dry. They had a quarterback, God bless him, the greatest to ever play the game, that was a standstill quarterback, would not stand in and take a hit. You can't play offensive line that way. A predictable run game. Everybody knew where it was going. Those offensive linemen were not going to have any success last year. So I'm telling you, this offensive line is going to have a lot more success, even if they may not have the talent of last year's group. Tristan Wirfs played left tackle for the first time tonight in the game, looked pretty damn good. The offensive line looked good. You saw how the run game was going, right?
Yes, you had the run pass option.
Really good.
Rashard White, opening up holes there on the left side.
A tight end jet sweep. Who knew you could do that?
I never.
Byron Leftwich's head might have exploded if he was watching the game.
Wait
a minute. You can do a tight end jet sweep?
Right.
How does that work?
I don't know how that works. If this is anything, if this is a sign of things to come for this Tampa Bay offense, I think Bucs fans should definitely be really excited because there are definitely some wrinkles there. You said, tight end jet sweep there. You had run pass option. How many times have we seen Baker Mayfield?
It's a mountain range.
Kyle Trask, once again, being mobile, showing, Lamar Jackson type of tendencies. Just kidding, but some mobility.
Did you see him go all Tebow tonight?
I did.
Put his head down for the first down and then get up and give the old Tebow first down. I was like, what am I watching here?
Guys.
Trask. Yeah. I'll say this about Trask. He was, 19 of 32 tonight, 19 of 32, I believe, 196 yards. He missed two guys wide open in the end zone that he should have hit. He missed another layup, little bootleg action, had a guy wide open and overthrew him. Can't miss those layups.
Yeah.
Can't miss those layups. That said, he hit a lot of nice throws tonight. He was pretty good, not great.
All right. Open phone line. Somebody's calling in 727-255. We'll take calls. 727-255-0391. And the other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're live here on the Sports Web from Raymond James Stadium. Yes.
This is Mike.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Mike, you okay there?
I like what I'm seeing.
I think he's so excited and exasperated by the offense tonight. You like what you're seeing. What did you like tonight about the game besides the obvious, the quarterback play?
It's just not as mundane as it was last year. I like the whole new jet sweeps. Hopefully we added a couple razzle dazzle plays in there, and I was kind of shaky on the first quarter defense.
Yeah, that was awful.
That was not good. Again, and
Josh Johnson, who I think is actually getting Social Security.
Is he 57 now?
I think he's qualified for Social Security.
Yeah.
So that's good. Good for him. He's getting paid anyway. But that guy goes 4 for 4 for 80 yards.
Yeah.
Laquan Treadwell, I think, is still running right here.
Former Viking first rounder who we never heard from. Now he's fourth or fifth on the wide receiving depth chart.
Todd Bowles once again saying it's not Devin White's fault. They had a bust in the back end, so it was the safety's fault.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, we have a coverage bust, and Treadwell's wide open in the middle of the field.
Yep.
Not to mention the other 4 passes that guys were wide open. So yeah. The first team defense did not distinguish themselves in that drive.
Agree. What else, Mike? Because we're going to take as many calls tonight as we can. Go ahead. Really quick. Finish up.
I
think Mike's good. I think Mike's had a good shot. All right. Thanks, Mike.
All right, Mike. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Open phone line. I love you, Mike. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255.
The number's right down there.
0391.
All right.
Yes,
So let's talk a little bit about the first team offense. Baker Mayfield, once again, 6 for 6 tonight. I think he only missed one throw in his series in the preseason.
Correct.
But the way the offense worked tonight, first of all, the throw to Godwin between 3 guys was just absolute perfection.
Correct.
And the timing was absolutely perfect. A couple other throws he made tonight, right on point. I love the way this offense fits Baker Mayfield's skill set. He's so good throwing on the run. He's so good in play action. A lot of the quarterbacks don't take the care and the detail to make good fakes, to do what it takes to really make this offense run. I love his attention to detail on the fakes. So excellent. And this is the way this offense is going to run. Love it.
The phone lines are just burning up here. Roger Shue from Newport Richie, welcome to the Sports Web. Also live here on the JP Peterson Show. What do you got?
Hey, JP and Pete.
What's up?
Hey, Pete, I was wondering, how's the cart doing?
The cart is good. The cart is working. It's carried everything. It was probably one of the best investments out there. Roger, thanks a lot for putting it together for me.
Awesome,
really
bro.
appreciate it.
I've been worried about it all afternoon and all night.
Good to know, Rod.
All right, Rod. So what
got
did
a
you
question about
Have
football?
a great show,
Okay,
man.
great.
I'll keep watching.
All right. We're getting some good calls tonight here, JP.
I don't know if they're good calls, Peter. But we're getting calls.
Or at least they're working there.
Calls.
Yes,
we love you. We love you.
Yes, we'll read the comments here in just a little
Have
bit.
a take, don't suck.
Right.
It's not original, but thanks for the card.
Chris Godwin.
Yes.
it's impressive to see him
He's
because, yes, well, he's very good. And people, you kind of looked at him last year and said, you know what, it wasn't the same Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
With what you saw on the field tonight, it looks like he's back.
Fantasy owners.
Yes.
Take Chris Godwin.
Yes.
And Mike Evans. Mike Evans didn't play tonight. I was a little
disappointed by that?
You know, and that's another thing I asked Baker. I said, and Todd Bowles, like 2 series, this starting offense is played in the preseason. Personally, I don't think that's enough. I think it's a miscalculation. Baker's like, he said, well, you know, that's kind of the rub. You know, how much do you play? You don't want to get guys hurt, which is a diplomatic way of saying, no, we didn't play enough together.
Mm-hmm.
He says they'll be ready. But I just, you know, for me, you know, I'm watching, you know, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid's pretty good coach.
Yeah, pretty good.
They're playing. You know, the starters are playing almost a half.
Yes.
You can't evaluate your players in just practice. You have to have them out on the lights going against other teams that don't know your schemes.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a gross miscalculation by Todd Bowles to not play his first team more, especially an offensive line that has not played together. Not only do you need to work on the execution part of it, but you also need to get evaluation. You need to know if, you know, Luke Gedeke can block in this particular scheme, on this particular play. How does the run game work on the left side? Are they moving people? Does this combo block? How does this work? And evaluate your players. You don't get a chance to do that. And you can do it in practice. I get it. And Todd feels like they've had lots of reps in practice. Practice is not a game. Practice is not going up against another team. You only did that for 1 practice with the Jets. And 2 series for your starting when you have a new quarterback and an almost entirely new line, it's not enough. I think that was a very bad miscalculation.
With that,
we'll see.
with that being said, no major injuries besides the Jensen thing. So that was the most important key to it, is to stay healthy. The wide receiving room, Trey Palmer once again shows up.
Wow.
Once again, I mean, this kid has made the team. I think David Moore has definitely staked a claim to make this team, and Raheem Jarrett, another young player, I believe makes this team.
Let's talk about Trey Palmer first of all. That catch over the middle where he goes up, I mean, that's tracking the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's a combat catch. That's just, you know, you saw Ryan Miller drop a perfectly thrown ball in the end zone to him. That's what bad receivers who aren't NFL guys do.
Right.
What Trey Palmer has shown is he can make the extraordinary catch, not just the regular catch. He made an extraordinary touchdown catch in week 1. This was an extraordinary catch there. The other touchdown was extraordinary. This kid, and then we get the return element.
Yeah.
That return tonight, that little juke move that he makes to the inside and breaks a tackle, goes for 26 yards. Devin Tompkins with a 41-yard. I mean, we haven't had a return game in for the Buccaneers, and I don't since Keith Armstrong.
And no penalties on that play, because you saw a good return.
Have one penalty on a punt. Return, which a block in the back one, but we're usually not blocking anybody, so I'm not sure how we get penalties that way. But the return game is back with those 2 cats.
Agree, absolutely.
And you mentioned David Moore.
Yes,
at least twice tonight he caught the ball and broke a tackle 1-on-1 and got another 9-10 yards. He's a stout mofo.
Mm-hmm.
He is built like a brick shiz house. And that guy can break tackles. I love what they got in David Moore. He's going to be a little extra added element. With Russell Gage going down, you get that experience level. And with Trey Palmer, you got the biggest steal of the draft at this point. This kid looks like he could be a number 1 receiver.
Again, I don't know, JP, how he lasted into the 6th round, but I'm definitely glad he did. I'll tell you what, let's go out.
Because it said wide receiver Nebraska next to his name. People were like, They don't have wide receivers there.
Let's go out to one of our friends here. Let's go out to Drew Felios. Drew,
yes, Drew.
Welcome to the Sports Web here on.
I bet this is going to be a good call.
The JP Peterson Show.
He's not going to ask about our cart.
Right, exactly. He's not going to. Live here from Raymond James Stadium. What's up, Drew?
No, it's just great to see 2 good friends of mine together. Putting your magic together and teaming up and giving us good web.
Thanks, brother.
Coverage in sports. It's just awesome to see. So I really hope that you guys are starting something great here. But I had a chance. I'll admit I haven't watched a lot so far this preseason. But to me, I think the most encouraging thing, JP, and I really want your take on this, is it finally looks like Kyle Trask is getting it. Yeah. He's starting to feel it. And to me, we know kind of what Baker's going to be. He's going to be up this year. He's going to be down. But Trask is that guy. Can he play in this league? And can he be the guy if he needs to be, and possibly our guy for the future? And I think he's proven that.
I'll tell you that I don't know the answer to that question because I got to see him play in a real NFL football game, which he could have done at the end of last year, but Tom Brady did not want him to do that. So he nixed that whole idea. I don't know, but what I've seen in this preseason and in training camp is tremendous. He has shown me he looks the part. He looks like he could be an NFL quarterback. Now he can't miss the layups like he did tonight. That first series, nice bootleg action. You get that guy wide open on the crosser. That's a layup 25-yard play, and he overthrows him. You can't miss that. He had two guys open. He had Geiger wide open in this end zone over here. No pressure. You can't miss him. But that'll come. That'll come. I think, young guys get a little excited. They see a big play. They get a little overamped. So he needs to just calm down a little bit and make the layup throws. But I could definitely I'm comfortable now if something happens to Baker that he can go in. Now listen, I don't want you to just give Baker the short shrift. Okay? Have you not seen the Madden 24 simulation? Have you not seen
we didn't talk about that. Yes.
So pick the last 3 Super Bowl matchups, which we think about it with the Bengals and the Eagles. How did they even pick that?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
So this year, they're picking the Chiefs.
And the Bucs.
And
Super Bowl 58.
And they're saying that Baker Mayfield's going to throw for 4,880 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 8 picks.
Love it.
So if you're a Madden man and they know anything at all, Baker's going to have a big year. And I'm telling you, I love him in this offense. I love him in this offense with these receivers. I think they could do so. If this offensive line doesn't suck out loud, and I think they'll be better, I think this could be a big year for Baker.
And I tell you what, Drew, he said it best in the press box. We were hanging out there, stuffing our faces. Kyle Trask was decisive. We saw more of that in this preseason, especially in this game, than previous preseasons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One more question I got for you guys. I'll let you guys go. I was watching the game tonight with JP Jr. That's Jason Powers.
Nice.
And we're sitting watching it second half, and camera's on Mike Evans a lot. We get to talking. Is this guy, when he retires, is he on that same level as a Rondé Barber, a Warren Sapp, as far as Buck history? I haven't really been, I guess, his biggest fan. I think he's had some great moments, but I'm just not that. I can't really say it. I just never really been, all on board with him as an all-around go-to guy. Tremendous talent, had a great run, but when people say first ballot Hall of Famer or Hall of Fame, I just like, what? Is he really that? How much do you think this guy has left, and what do you think his legacy is going to be on the franchise?
And who is that again?
You guys answer.
Mike Evans. Mike
Yep.
Evans to me is a Hall of Famer, period. 9 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving. Oh, he's definitely book it. 9 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons, consistency, playing with the quarterbacks that he's played with, a model of consistency. Again, he's still one of the top wide receivers in the league, and reports are at a training camp, and you were out there at training camp, that he was having one of those great training camps. So no matter what quarterback, and I think Baker is still a guy that can make all the throws, book it. Mike Evans is in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, and could go down as the greatest Tampa Bay Buccaneer offensive player of all time.
I think he's well on the way to both, but
Okay.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer yet.
Okay.
You can look at, I think 5 of the top 10 yardage guys in receiving history aren't in the Hall of Fame. So it's not just a numbers thing. And Drew, I feel what you're saying. Do you honestly think that you'd go out there and say Mike Evans was one of the top 3 receivers this year in the NFL? It's like he puts up numbers. He puts up a lot of stats and volume. Does he make huge plays? I think he's made his share.
Mm-hmm.
He's won a Super Bowl, obviously. So all these things, but I do think he needs a couple more years. I think he needs at least 2 or 3 more. And I don't think 1,009-yard seasons. I'm like, give me a 1,400 yard, 14 touchdown season. Give me 2 of those.
Yeah.
I think he needs 2 more of those, and then he solidifies himself in the Hall of Fame. I just. I've had issues with Mike. Does he high point the ball as much as he should at 6'5"?
Exactly,
Does he
JP.
run after the catch? No, he usually goes down to make the catch.
Right.
Is that the quarterback's fault? Is that his fault? He's said himself he needs more yards after the catch. So has he been a perfect receiver? No. There are parts of his game that I wish were better. Absolutely. Has he absolutely stuffed the stat book? Yes. But I need to see more. I'm with you, Drew. I love him, and he's on that trajectory, no question. But I need to see more.
Guys, finally, just want to say in 2 weeks I'll be in that stadium. USF and FAMU, Alex Golish's debut at Raymond James Stadium. I'll have the call on ESPN Plus. So I hope you guys listen to that.
We'll be here. I'll be here with Amped Up Sports.
Strike.
Absolutely love it. Thanks, guys.
That's where I took my journalism classes now. So I'm a FAMU alum, but I love USF as well.
Right. So they're on the come up at this point. Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Alex.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex Golish has an opportunity here to win some games.
Right.
That schedule is softer than that baby powder that Ryan Jensen shoves down.
Besides Alabama, of course, which everybody is kind of looking forward to here. Well,
that could be a problem.
That could be a problem. I tell you what, we will go ahead and we're going to cut off here because
you need to go do something. Go plug something in.
I'll
take over. From
unfortunately, we cannot plug that in, so we're going to have to get something else. We're going to cut it short.
We'll have a little battery issue.
Battery issue. That's okay. That's what happens when you get a big bad.
Couple more just quick things.
Yeah, we got to run here. So I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead, wrap it up here. Give me your final thoughts before we get off here. I'm sorry about this, guys.
Great game offensively for the first team. I wish I would have seen more. Sean Tucker had some moments as well. Look, I think this team's going to be a hell of a lot better than people think they are. That's my bottom line.
Good stuff, guys. Keep on tuning in here on the Sports Web. And, of course, the JP Peterson Show every day, Monday through Friday, 10 to 12 noon here on Facebook and YouTube. For the great JP Peterson, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Have a good night. Bucs win 26-20. We'll see you later.
Good job, brother.
Thank you.